Ma'am, listen. What do you do right in the morning? Just at the time of waking up. You you sleep, you wake up, you look around, you find whatever things you have placed, or whether they are in their own place or somewhere else. Maybe your brother has taken out your mobile phone, your sister has taken out your headset. Something would have happened, isn't it? You then identify all the items belonging to you, bring them back, start working. It's not working. Start wasting your time through what? Whatever app it may be. Similar to our own baking app. A computer also bakes up. When you press the power on button, it does what? It bakes up. And the process is called booting. It's called booting. Boot process of a computer. It's called the boot process of computer. Okay. This is stupid. I don't permit this. Okay. Then the boot process has got two stages. The first stage happens in the CMOS, through the CMOS and the other BIOS, basic input output system. Loading of the BIOS is called primary boot process. Primary boot process. Then there is the second stage, which is called the secondary boot process, in which Windows, Linux, or Mac OS, the operating system goes. Okay, therefore, booting is divided into two separate stages. One is primary boot process. The second one is secondary boot process. BIOS load. It's the first part. And the second part is loading of the operating system. Okay. Done. This is called then what is BIOS? BIOS is the basic input output system. Any computer boots only with the BIOS at the first stage. Okay. BIOS is called the basic input output system. It is meant for managing the memory, RAM and the hard disk and whatever other storage devices we have. It is the primary device managing all the storages and data transmission. It's called the BIOS. BIOS. Can you repeat the full form of BIOS? Basic input output system. Then there is a timekeeper called the CMOS. Timekeeper. I say it's the timekeeper. Why? Because it shows the date, it shows other information related to booting, other details related to booting. It's called the CMOS. CMOS stands for complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Can you repeat? Complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Once more, complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Everyone, once more, Kamalini, including Kamalini. Repeat. Complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Okay. Then the power on process is called the post. Post means power on self test. Just on pressing the power button, the computer first determines that the computer is ready to work. There is no error. If there is no RAM, the computer cannot run. Therefore, it reports an error and beeps, sends some messages. Such testing for each and every important device is called the power on self test. Post, or the full form is power on self test. Power on self test. Then we have seen that there is a chip called BIOS, basic input output system. There is a timekeeper called CMOS, complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Then there is this one, post, power on self test. Power on self test. And booting is divided into two stages. One is the primary boot process, the other is the secondary boot process. With this, we close the class. We shall come back in the afternoon for theory class.